we'll get back into it, I'm sure. We are. It's been a wait. When was the last time I played this? When was this posted? Where's the frick's the date? Hold on a second. 2 months ago. So we're not too far away from it, but yeah, I let this sit for too long. So we're gonna try and finish it up. It would be nice to have like a recap, like if you're gonna continue, like, hey, here's up to your save point. Like, it doesn't have to be exact, but like, hey, do you want to recap as you reload? Because hey, well, we noticed it's been X amount of times. I don't know how feasible that would be, but yeah. Anyway, so yes, might as well end this trial now. What? We haven't even determined anything yet. There are pressing issues at stake here. You have no way of winning. Just give up, Conrad. You lose this time. It's over. Nail. So this is how it's going to be. Ow. No, I'm not going down without a fight. So you're saying that because there could only have been 2 people at the scene... Actually, can I use... yeah, sorry, I can use my controller for this. And that Fletcher was spotted leaving, it must have been her. Correct. Need we draw this out any longer? I say we prepare for a verdict. Kick his ass, Cross! No, we're not ready for a verdict. Because there's a major hole in your argument. And what would that be? Chloe, I think you know what I'm getting at. Oh yeah! The reason you think only 2 people were at the scene is... because of the mud patch in the sewer passage, right? Well, how do we know the mud patch was always there? Oh, that does make sense. Excuse me. It's possible a 3rd person could have passed if the mud wasn't on the ground. And do you have evidence to support your claim? Evidence? Well... look at the patch of mud again. Notice how there's a spot that's devoid of mud? You think that something that was there is now missing? Correct. And if we can find it, we should be able to detect traces of mud. And who's to say the object wasn't always there? Just because it was moved doesn't mean the mud wasn't present. Actually, I do know the mud wasn't always there. And that's because I already know what was blocking the mud. Please show us this evidence. I do? Oh shit. Let's see here. What was blocking? Oh, somebody was handcuffed. It was a person. But who? Maybe. Or was it the suitcase? The suitcase seems... okay, so if you look at... like, I wanted to... I wish I could take a look at that closer. Okay, so... I'm trying... and we're also trying to remember 2 months ago. I want to say the suitcase. But I'm probably wrong. But it looks... okay, so the suitcase was handcuffed to something. But there's like handcuffs there, yeah. It's a person. But who? Broken window. No, because there's no mud. Is it actual... the victim? Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, yes, I was on the right track. It is a person. The body of William Vilmer is in the fountain of the airport. Some blood surrounds the body. There is a considerable amount of mud in the fountain. I'm going for it. The victim was what was blocking the mud. The victim? Yes. In the fountain where the body was found, there were traces of mud. Fuck yeah! 2 months out, and I still got it! Okay, Phoenix. I don't quite understand. It's simple. When the mud was put on the ground, Vilmer was in the sewer passage. There's a reason why he was there, in fact. I have evidence that can explain why he was in that exact spot. Fuck. I was so close to just... The handcuffs? I want to say it's the handcuffs. I'm gonna say handcuffs. Yeah. There was a set of handcuffs chained to a pipe right next to the mud. I think Vilmer was there because he was handcuffed. Okay, there we go. Yes. Oh, that's a really good explanation. I see. If that is true, then the mud must have been placed at the scene after Vilmer was there. Since you know Vilmer wasn't always chained to that pipe, this proves my point without a doubt. But who would want to handcuff the victim? It's obvious, Your Honor. It was the true culprit. Slow down. What? And who do you think this culprit is? Neil's not pulling any punches. Let's talk about the state of the crime scene. As we can veer off to another subject. It's not possible for Vilmer, Fletcher, and Trey to have been at the lobby. I'd like to hear the prosecution's argument as to what exactly occurred there. Very well. The detective and I have prepared a statement. Cameron, just a minute ago he was convinced only 2 people went through yet. Is a statement already prepared? He knew the flaw the whole time. He just wanted to deceive the judge. That's not how trials are supposed to work. You can't work around the truth. Dare, please take the stand. Hey! Hey! Double ready to give a daring statement. Looks like he's back to his usual self. Sorry for the double downer thing before. It was hard to keep silent once I knew the truth of Ram's identity. Enough. Read the statement. It's the prosecution's belief that the defendant stabbed the victim with the sword. And why would you say that? The sword that was found in the lobby contained Mrs. Fletcher's fingerprints. I see. This is a very important fact. I shall add the new information to the public record. Okay, so let's take a look at this evidence. Sarah's fingerprints, things are looking worse by the minute. Hold up a second. Did you guys see where those fingerprints were on it? A familiar item that was found in the lobby. Bloodstain on blade. Fletcher's fingerprints are on the handle. I thought it was like right in the blade. I was like, there's fingerprints on the blade itself. What? Okay, no, fingerprints are on the handle. Okay, so that's not... Okay. Well, the handle, like it says. These things are looking worse by the minute. So you think Vilmer was stabbed near the security room? Well, there's something else. Detective, we talked about this. No, they have to know. Order. Know what? We've analyzed the blood that was found next to the security room. It belonged to Hendrik Trey. Oh shit, Hendrik Trey. So he was at the crime scene. Hold up. This evidence implies that Fletcher attacked Trey, not Vilmer. Well, the autopsy does state he was stabbed. Would you continue your statement? Of course, we prepared a mock-up of the events that happened. I'll need a volunteer to help demonstrate. Oh, me, I want to. Is this a trial or a school presentation? Great, and I need just one more person. I would be happy to assist you. It appears the crowd is going wild for you, Prince Thorn. Pathetic. Wow, when did you get here? I've been watching in the audience for some time now. I'm happy to provide my services to the court at any time. Double done. Now, if you can stand here. Security room sewer fountain. Demonstration. Well, this is a scene, all right. Yep, you'll have to use your imaginations. Ugh, excuse me, I had some chicken before going on stream. This give me a mild bit of heartburnish stuff. I'm Vilmer, Chloe is Fletcher, and Thorn is Trey. I see, and you marked up our floor with indicators relating to the lobby. Yep. Hey, Sarah, I'm playing you. This is going to be a long day. Hey, no, you're fine. Right. So at this point, Vilmer is handcuffed to the pipe in the sewers. Trey has already made his way to the lobby. Then Fletcher steps through the mud to get to the lobby, leaving Vilmer. She runs up to Trey and attacks him with a sword. There could be no other explanation for the blood. Trey was attacked right there. Then she goes back down to the sewers and retrieves Vilmer. Wait, this doesn't work. You already have an objection? You're saying that Fletcher stepped through the mud to get to the lobby. Then, after attacking Trey, she goes right back to the sewers? Yep, that's right. I find that unlikely, mainly because it would contradict this piece of evidence. There's only one trail leading from the sewers. Yeah, a track of footprints in the lobby leading towards the security room, then towards the room of suitcase. Yeah, there's only one set of tracks. If Fletcher had stepped through the mud to get to the lobby, then it's likely that the muddy footprints belong to her. I guess that makes sense. And what doesn't make sense is your description of it. Okay, here's what I think happened. Vilmer was handcuffed down in the sewers. Somehow mud got on him. Okay, whatever. He frees himself. He goes upstairs. That would explain the blood in the sewers. Is he freed himself by like cutting his hand or something like that. He goes upstairs. He attacks Trey. And I think Fletcher actually did kill Vilmer. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure those muddy tracks are Vilmer's feet. That's just my hypothesis, but we'll see. And that doesn't. What does make sense is your description of the events. The muddy footprints don't go back to the sewer; they go to the suitcases. Oh, you're absolutely right, Detective. Please correct the scenario. Can do. Instead of going back to the sewers, Fletcher went to the suitcases. And why would she do that? The only reason I can think of is to retrieve this suitcase. So she wanted to get the bomb. Not just the bomb. I think she moved the suitcase itself. After all, we did find it pretty far from its original position. So where was it moved then? I think I have a piece of evidence that explains where it was moved at this point. Well, yeah, found in the sewer passage, yeah. The suitcase itself should explain what I mean. What about it? There's a few notable details that can clue us into where it went. Maybe it'd be better explained if I showed you how those details came to be. There must be something here that could describe the state of the suitcase. There's glass inside of it. It's the broken window. I'm gonna, yes. 100%. If you'll recall, the window in the security room was broken. What does that have to do with the suitcase? Pieces of broken glass were found on the suitcase. Is it, am I hard to hear? Is the game too loud, or? I believe they originated from the security room window. Ah, that seems like the right answer. That tells us two things. First, Fletcher moved the suitcase to the security room window. Yeah. I need water. I don't have water, god dang it. Oh, running, oh, okay. Second, someone broke the security room window once the suitcase was there. Okay, I'm just getting a big glass of water, because I'm gonna be talking a lot, and I'm gonna need to keep my mouth quiet. Okay, there we go. Wow, nobody had a comment of what I said when I left? Jeez. I was expecting you guys to be like, no! Okay. Second, someone broke the security room window once the suitcase was there. What is the point of all this? If we want to uncover the truth of what happened here. Oh, I said I'm gonna go get myself a big glass of water because I'm gonna be talking a lot and I have to make sure that I keep my mouth wet. We have to understand how everything fits together. And the way I see it right now, Fletcher didn't lay a finger on Vilmer. Yes, I was walking away when I said it. Damn it, I got a little bit of water on me. Damn it. Conrad, you're really good at what you do. But I don't know if it'll be enough. I probably didn't hear that part. It has to be. We can't give up. Not yet. Then I say Fletcher broke the window, right? No, that's not possible. The window was broken outward. That means someone was inside. And could Fletcher have been inside the room at this point? I don't think so, considering everything. One piece of evidence. Oh, did I get? Oh, I got it on my controller. God damn it! It's like, why is my thumb like moist? Okay, yeah, just got a couple drops on the actual surface of the controller, so everything's fine there. How utterly annoying. One piece of evidence explains why Fletcher could not have entered the room. I'll just assume that no one else was at the scene. In other words, if it was just Fletcher, why couldn't she enter the room? Locks from the outside and was locked when the police arrived. Open for investigation. Yeah, so that's why she wasn't in the room, because it locks... Wait, locks from the outside. Is that it? That might be it. I'm gonna try it. Locks from the outside. Yeah, okay. The security room door was locked before the police arrived. That means someone was in here, got locked in, and then broke the window to get out. Yeah, because it locks from the outside. Then it still could have been Fletcher. We know Trey was at the scene. He could have locked her in. I don't think so. Look at the footprints again and assume she made them. The first thing Fletcher does is go to the door of the security room. I think this is because she locked Trey inside. Your theories are worthless without proof. We can prove it. Remember how we found Fletcher's fingerprints on the sword? It stands to reason that she wasn't wearing gloves. If that's the case, we simply need to analyze the door handle for fingerprints. Ah, I can get that done in no time. Very well, we will take a short recess while the detective performs the analysis. I'll see you all back here in 20 minutes. Dismissed. You didn't think to do that beforehand? Like, what kind of investigation is this? Amateurs. I think we're getting closer to the truth. Yes, but something's not right. I've noticed it as well. Prosecutor Nail is holding back. Isn't Law and Order holding back? He seems to already have much of this, all of this figured out. Yet he's letting it play out by letting you correct the detective. We don't have a choice. We have to keep going. Miss Fletcher, were you really at the scene of the crime? Whether she was or wasn't doesn't matter. I know she's innocent. Rules and regulations. Not to pry, but after all this time looking for her, everyone deserves defense. Sarah's other crimes can wait. I will not sit idly by while she gets accused of murder. Sir Cross, you've already accused her of murder. Or have you forgotten? Bill Brown was pushed from the roof and died. I know I've made some mistakes in the past, but I'm no murderer. I didn't kill Ground. What? I did see him on the roof that day, but he wasn't pushed. He jumped. He thought he had a... Huh? So it was a suicide. Why? Why didn't you tell us earlier? Because I stole the zero data from the Bank of Prosperity. I wasn't about to tell anyone the truth. I tried to pin it on Bridges. It had to seem like a murder. You still committed crimes. And for that, I will pay the price. But right now, you tell Cross. Don't worry, we'll clear your name. We will clear your name, I promise. Conrad, I don't even know if I'm innocent in all this. That's no way to talk. You're innocent. We'll prove that today. How else is he supposed to have a three-way love triangle with him and the other prosecutor lady whose name I forgot, and Fletcher? There's a three-way love triangle. It has to. He has to prove her innocent. I know, right? Miss Fletcher, you have the support of my team and I for this trial. Do not hesitate to ask for help. Thank you, everyone. I don't deserve this. You sure? Alas, our time is up. We must return to court. Oh, we get to play more parts in the demonstration. Yay! Let's solve this case together. Together. Auto saved. I love how they just stop. Is everyone ready to continue? Detective, report your findings. Crosses and I for guessing the right answer, all right. We did find Fletcher's fingerprints on the security room door. On what side, though? So she did lock it, and Trey was inside. I understand. That means Trey's position was in the security room itself. Truffle Gouda is flocking. What I'm confused about is why the suitcase was moved to the window. Considering the Trey was in the locked room, I think Fletcher wanted to eliminate him using the bomb in the suitcase. My word. At this point, Trey would have broken the window to escape the room. How did he manage to break the window? Your Honor, I think I know what was used to break the window. The gun, right? Fire for the security. Yeah, it was the pistol. Trey shot the window using this pistol. And why would you say that? Because of the bullet that was found. The angle of trajectory tells us the bullet was shot from the security room. Aha! I knew you'd figure it out. So Trey had the gun with him. After shooting the window, he likely escaped through there. This must have been where he was attacked. Sorry to interrupt. Is it not possible for him to have been attacked earlier? No. Look at the footprints again. Remember, the first thing that Fletcher does is lock the door. She didn't want to attack Trey. She locked him there so he wouldn't be a threat. So when Trey escaped from the room, that's when she panicked and surprised him when he turned the corner. He lost a lot of blood. He must have collapsed. With that threat out of the way, Fletcher must have removed his weapon and thrown it into the fountain. So what happened next? From this point on, it's hard to say. Fools. Use your head so we can be done with this distraction. The accused removed the bomb from the suitcase and placed it near the gate. This would have completed the original plan to provide an escape route. She couldn't leave evidence behind, and the most pressing thing was the unconscious Trey. She moved him out of the lobby. Through the front gate? Indeed. He moved through the front gate and away from the scene for good. Objection. I always go for him. Fletcher didn't bring him through the front gate. If Trey left the scene, then I won't be able to pin the crime on him. No, this story's not over yet. Do you have any evidence that proves your claim? Yes, I have a piece of evidence that will prove that's not how Trey left the scene. The mud patch. It's the mud patch! Or the sewer footprints! It has to be! There are two sets of footprints within the patch of the sewers. One set traverses towards the airport, the other heads towards the bridge but stops at the gap and turns back. It has to be. Yes, yes! This is why it couldn't happen. Great, but why couldn't you pick the right? No, what? What? No, what? God damn it! Bridge blood pool, that has to be it. Right? Oh no, all my confidence is absolutely shot. I thought it showed it when you get it. Yeah! Okay, entrance. So bomb below the hull, leaving a path into or out of the lobby. Okay. Suitcase, handcuffs, autopsy report. Sewer. I thought, is it the muddy patch? I think it's the mud patch itself. Yeah, I think I was right at first. No, it's not. Oh, the suitcase, the glass! He got out after the suitcase, and she would have had the bomb already, so yeah, it's the suitcase. It has to be. Yeah, and what happened when the bomb went off? But the bomb was out of the suitcase already. Is that it? Why couldn't Fletcher have brought Trey through the gate after the explosion? Wait, is that it? Oh, god dang it. Or is it the sewer blood pool? Because we don't know whose blood that is. Okay, well, where was the victim stabbed is what I want to know. A bladed weapon in the chest. The victim. Some blood surrounds the body. Oh my god. I'm gonna try the suitcase. It has to be. Right? I'm doing so bad. Nope. I'm just guessing now. I was on such a roll. What did this happen after the bomb went off? Let's see here. Hold on a second. Let's look at the profiles. So, they're saying she blew it up to take him out of the lobby. Well, we don't know if this blood is Trey's or not. We don't know that. What the frick, dude? Broken window, shattered outwards, muddy footprints towards the suitcases. Considerable amount of mud in the fountain. Fired 5 shots. No fingerprints. Single bullet was found on the wall. I did try the suitcase, yeah. Broken piece of the glass side. Sewer blood pool. Sewer. The handcuffs. Autopsy report. Guard to. Oh, wait. After hearing explosion. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I didn't read it fully. The guard witnessed Fletcher leaving through the front gate and no one else was at the scene. That's it. It's the witness testimony. I'm an idiot. I forgot about the witness. I fucked up so badly because I didn't read. Earlier, the prosecution presented this testimony from a security guard. It claims that the guard arrived at the scene a mere 10 seconds after the explosion. It's true. He did witness Fletcher leaving. But he didn't see Trey. God, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. I was thinking, oh, evidence he left through the sewers. No. It's clear now. The guard would have noticed if she was carrying Trey. This means that Trey didn't leave the lobby. He did leave the lobby, I can assure you, imbeciles. In fact, I now have an idea of where he went. He has an idea now? Did he know the whole time? He was brought to the sewers. Wait! But he was unconscious. How did Fletcher bring him down the ladder? Patience. I was getting to that. We found a mattress in the passageway with Trey's blood on it. New evidence. Really? It's likely that Fletcher threw the unconscious Trey down the ladder onto the mattress. So that means Trey survived the fall. That task complete. Fletcher must have moved the suitcase. Now everyone returned to the sewers. Thank you all for your participation. I believe we can handle the rest. Hold on a second. Something just occurred to me. How did Hendrik Trey acquire that pistol? Wasn't he just in a holding cell? Fletcher prepared a lot of things for the escape. Like that sword and the bomb. It's likely she had a pistol prepared as well. If she's breaking Trey out of his cell, why were they fighting in the first place? Trey and Fletcher both wanted the Zero data, but for different reasons. The Koreans were fighting over the last hard drive, most likely. What a bunch of petty criminals. Petty? Really? Who? No. It's Trey! Everett, please stay where you are. That's right. Nobody move. I can't remember what voice I gave, so I'm giving him this. Not again. Let me guess. We're all your hostages? That's right. But not just this room. The country is my hostage. Conrad, what is he talking about? I have with me a remote. This remote can send a signal back to our headquarters. And just what would that signal do? Why, it'd launch the nuke, of course. Well, fuck. Order. You'll do no such thing in this courtroom. Try me, old man. I'm not afraid to die. Bailiff, be ready to restrain this criminal. What? Is he? Whoops, fell asleep for a second there. Oh God, I thought he shot the judge. What was I doing again? Take me seriously, old man. Any set of moves and I'll pull the trigger. Then we all share the same fate. Are you really able to launch your missiles? I thought Fletcher had the last hard drive that you needed. She did, until just a few hours ago. We broke into our apartment this morning and found it. It was pretty easy. It was sitting right there on her desk. So the 209 drive has completed their project? That's right. We plugged in the codes as soon as we got the data. Our missiles are ready to launch. The missiles that they stole back in the 04 incident. They must have been planning this for years. What do you want? What do I want? What do I want? What I've always wanted, Nail. Or should I say, Ram? Ugh. I know all about your precious secrets. The time has come to purge this world. Starting with you, Cross. Me? In our new society, we'll need capable lawyers. So one by one, I'm going to test our legal practitioners. If you fail, then you die. Simple as that. If you pass, then you get to help rebuild the legal system once we take control. He's insane, but I have no choice. Mr. Cross, I suggest you do as he says. All right? I'll play your little game. Excellent. The rest of you just sit back and watch. Any funny business and I'll press the trigger. Now, let's begin with the physical exercise. You've been playing this game for a long time, so I'd like you to get out of your chair. And do 10 stretches. Ready? Go. Okay, I guess, 1, 2. Okay, reach for my toes. I can't with my left arm, though. Okay. I'll stretch. Ah. And as long as I don't push my arm too hard, I can stretch that way. Ah, there we go. Oh God, that's so tubby. Ah. That's not a flattering angle for me. I'm not tubby, I'm just a big guy. I got a big heart. You look fine, jeez. How fine do I look? Sorry. Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3. You get the point. Objection. I refuse. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to our player here. Please continue doing your stretches. Done? Good. That just serves as your break. Remember to take a break from looking at the screen at least every 60 minutes. What is going on? Great, let's move on to the media challenge. You'll be prompted to answer a few questions based on modern media. Put this exercise to determine if you're in the loop, so to speak. Little things like this will add personality to your resume. Also, we find that discussing TV shows is a positive experience for our employees. Are you ready to start? The questions are pretty unforgiving, so be ready. And don't even think about looking up the answers online, or I'll know. Question 1. In Star Wars Episode 4, who is the protagonist? It's Luke Skywalker. It's Luke Skywalker, of course. He follows Ben Kenobi and becomes a Jedi. That's right! Excellent work! Now the next one. Question 2. In Game of Thrones, which character is Joffrey Baratheon's father? Joffrey Baratheon's. Okay, Joffrey Baratheon is, yeah, it's Jaime Lannister. It's Jaime Lannister, son of Tywin. Fantastic, you know your stuff. Finally, the last question. Can we hurry this up? I don't have all day. My, you are impatient. Very well, we should move to the last phase of the test. Cognitive ability. So she did. Yay, Phoenix. Hey, Wrath, how you doing? I'll provide a series of statements which each contain one error. If you can find the error in every statement and prove it with evidence, you'll pass. If you make a mistake, I'll penalize you. Too many penalties and the game is over. No continues. I should be able to handle this. The subject will be, yes, Vilmer's death. Bitch! You see, it's a win-win situation. If you can find the error in my statements, you'll learn something new about this case. So that's how this is going to be. All right, I'm ready. Fantastic. This will be quite a challenge, I assure you. Think carefully about every piece of evidence at your disposal. Now, the first statements. Cross-examination, the first statements. After Fletcher attacked me, I was curled in pain. She took the gun away from me and threw it into the fountain. Actually, no, she didn't. There were no fingerprints on it. She also cleaned the sword and the bomb using the fountain water. Okay. That's also false. This is done to remove fingerprints that complicate the crime scene. Then she put the sword near the security room and put the bomb near the gate. Then she dragged me to the sewer to keep me safe from the blast. Now listen up, the time was around 2 a.m. The bomb was set on a timer to detonate at 2:15 a.m. So after dropping me into the passageway, she still had time to go back to the scene. She used that time to move the suitcase down into the sewers as well. Fletcher moved into the sewers to shield herself from the blast. So we were right in our deduction. You've already figured out that much? You are really good, Cross. You really are good. So the bomb was on a timer. That's right. Now, did you spot the error? Error? There's something wrong with that? There's exactly one mistake. One statement that could not be possible. I'll have to go back over and prove him wrong. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. Okay, that could be true. She took the gun. Okay, see, she took the gun away and threw it in the fountain. That could happen. It was in the fountain and maybe the fingerprints got washed off, but she didn't do it to the sword. This is it. Yeah. Yep. There's no way Fletcher cleaned the sword using the fountain water. And that's because the sword had a clear bloodstain on it. What if she only cleaned the handle? That still won't work. Mainly because we found Fletcher's fingerprints on the item. Ah, that's right. Well done. You passed the first round. It's true, Fletcher didn't watch those items. There was no time for that. Slow down. How about instead of playing games, you just tell us what happened already? What fun would that be? Not to mention, Cross is taking a test now. When we get to your turn, you'll be deducted 5 points for interrupting me. Now the second set of statements. Okay, second statements. Here we go. Things like paper, wrath. And have fun walking the dog. Or after Fletcher returned to the sewer, she took a moment to catch her breath. Okay. But to her surprise, I had moved. What happened was, while she was busy with the suitcase, I was barely able to walk again. Using all my strength, I moved off the mattress and towards Vilmer. You see, Vilmer was still chained to the pipe. I moved to him, opened his handcuffs, and then carried him towards the ladder. At that point, I dropped Vilmer on the mattress and commanded him to stay. I hobbled all the way to back the bridge, leaving him behind. By the time Fletcher made it back to the passageway, I was gone. Which brings us full circle. As she stood in shock, she knew I would not be caught. I can only assume what happened from here. She took the sword and stabbed Vilmer. Then, she waited for the bomb to go off. Once it did, she carried the body back up. She dumped it in the fountain and ran off through the front gate. Okay, so no. because the security guard said it was only 10 seconds after the explosion that he saw her run out. So you escaped while Vilmer was in the sewers. But you don't know if Fletcher really stabbed him because you weren't there. Who else could it have been? Regardless, it's only speculation, and that's not where the inconsistency was. Inconsistency? That's right. Somewhere in there is a lie. Try not to anger him, Conrad. I have to do this. I have to expose the truth. Okay, after Fletcher returned to the sewer, she took a moment to catch her breaths. Because, yeah, so if you look... Guard testimony. To hear an explosion, night guard rushed to the lobby within 10 seconds and came across the scene of the crime. It doesn't say when the bomb went off, and then 2:15 a.m. is when he died. So yeah, 10 seconds is when the explosion happened. Okay. Okay. Catch your breath, okay. Surprise, I had moved. What happened was, while she was busy with the suitcase, I was barely able to walk again. All my strength, I moved off the mattress. The ladder was still chained. Opened his handcuffs and then carried him towards the ladder. At that point, I dropped Vilmer on the mattress and commanded him to stay. Blah, blah, blah. Fletcher made it back. Bring this full circle. As she stood in shock, she knew I would not be caught. She took the sword and stabbed Vilmer. Then she waited for the bomb to go off. Once it did, she carried the body back up. Okay, so... I need to figure out where to object. I think it's here. I think it's this one. I hope so too, Phoenix. Hey, Zemsy. Nice 7-stream streak. This is Trey. He's the leader of the terrorist group we've been up against this whole game. I think I'm gonna object here. No, I fucked up. And flashbacks to law school now. I have to focus. Okay, she dumped it in the... Okay, so... Yep. Okay, so it was this one. What? Unless I'm overthinking it. He said he opened the handcuffs, but they're not open. Now I don't know for sure. Ah, damn it. When Fletcher returned to the sewers, she took a moment to catch her breath. Oh, after she returned to the sewers. There's no set of footprints showing she returned to the sewers. There's a couple of things here that are kind of throwing me off. After Fletcher returned to the sewer, there's no footprints back to the sewers, though. God dang it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I had moved. What happened was, while she was busy with the suitcase, I was barely able to walk again. Using all of my strength, I moved off the mattress and towards Vilmer. Wait, we didn't look at the mattress, did we? Okay. Traces of... Okay, nothing there. So we're still chained to the pipe. I moved him, opened his handcuffs, and then carried him towards the ladder. Going to film around the mattress, I commanded him to stay. Hobbled all the way back to the bridge, leaving him behind. The stops of the... Okay, so he didn't go... Okay, maybe that's it. But then there's blood at the bridge. Oh my god. I'm actually... Fuck. Man, why are these ones throwing me for a loop so much? Holy god. Time Fletcher made it back to the passageway, I was gone. She stood in shock. She knew I would now be caught. Yeah, once it did, she carried the body back up, dumped it in the fountain, and ran off through the front gate. That's only 10 seconds. You can't do that in 10 seconds. There are two sets of footprints within the patch of mud in the sewer passage. One set traverses towards the airport, the other towards the bridge, but stops at the gap and turns back. Maybe it's this one. Okay. That's it. You claim that you hobbled all the way back to the bridge. But that can't be what happened. Because we would have seen your footprints in this patch of mud. Oh my god. I'm still wrong. I thought it was his footprints. God damn it. Ah, you're really good at this. No, I'm not. I'm almost dead. So what did happen? Hey, let the lad enjoy his moment of praise. I think these are looking up for your odds of survival. Fine, play the silent game. Here's your answer. I did escape, like I said, but I didn't hobble. Huh? But then... I swam. Through the sewer water. What? But how did you make it past the metal gate? There's a hatch on the gate that allowed me to pass through. This hatch is only accessible from the airport side of the passage. Oh, so you swam in sewage. I did what I had to in order to escape her clutches. Sarah wouldn't have hurt you if you didn't... Wait. What did you do? Why were you two fighting? She wanted the zero data, said it could be put to better use in our project. I refused and she dropped the issue. But there was something she had. Something that I needed. The drive that you stole from her apartment. Correct. So I took her pistol and shot her. You shot her? That explains her injury. I had no choice. She wouldn't cooperate. You wouldn't talk. You just said you didn't cooperate and she dropped the issue. Regardless, she spilled the beans. Now tell me this, what piece of evidence explains the location I shot her? It has to be the sewer. Or is it the bridge? Fuck, it's either the sewer or the bridge. Pool blood is the sewer patch between the patch of mud and the ladder to the airport. Yeah, it's gotta be this one. You shot her in the sewer. That's why this blood pool was here. Did I really? What? But what Conrad said makes sense. Let's run it through, shall we? I shot her in the sewers, then moved to the airport. Then later, I shoot out the window with a single bullet. Weren't there more shots fired from that gun? There were 5 shots fired. We only found 1 bullet in the lobby. I still don't understand. You could have fired off shots earlier. Well, it's just wrong, okay? He's starting to lose it. I guess I'll have to think of something else. There must be another way to piece the story together. He's testing me. What item shows where Trey shot Fletcher? What item shows where he shot her? Oh, the bridge. She was shot by the bridge, and this blood pool proves it. Ha! Keen mind, Cross. So that means your fight traveled all the way through the sewers? Indeed, it was quite the showdown. Then that's it. This whole incident was a result of your shot fired at Fletcher. Don't be absurd. Ha! You have a point. Yeah, Phoenix. You took Vilmer as a hostage. That's what started this all. Easy now, we'll get to that in a second. You still have one final test to pass. Enough of this. You will not threaten the court any longer. If that's how you feel, then maybe I'll just press the trigger now. So delulu but wholesome. God. Oh God. Mr. Nail, do as he says, for the sake of us all. Thank you, Your Honor. Now then, the last test for our dear Cross. Listen, it all comes down to this. We're so close to the truth. Just one more. Just one more lie, one more contradiction. I can do this. It's all way back at the beginning of the event. I don't care what it takes. I will do this. The final test. Me and the senator were in our holding cell when Miss Fletcher appeared. She had a proposition for us. She'd break us free if we would tell her everything. We accepted, of course, and together we escaped to the bridge. There, Fletcher had prepared a secret passageway through the sewers. She also brought a pistol with her for security measures. However, before we entered the passage, I stole her gun and shot her in the arm. Then I took Vilmer into the passageway as a hostage. You see, I knew Fletcher needed him alive. His safety was my insurance. That's when I came across the mud patch. I handcuffed Vilmer to the pipe, and then prepared to continue to the airport alone. Okay, that's a lie because the mud was on Vilmer. Fletcher was persistent. She appeared and chased after me with a sword. I fired 3 shots at her, but she hid behind cover. I used that to enforce my escape. I ran all the way to the airport. My pursuer didn't give up. She climbed the ladder and then she found that I was searching the security room for more weapons. Utilizing the advantage of surprise, she locked me in the room. I think you already figured out what happened from there. Yeah, it's the mud. You dumb fuck. So you're the one who handcuffed Vilmer. That's like a crime. In a short while, your precious legal system will be overturned. I'll make sure my crimes are pardoned. What a hypocrite. Don't test me, Nail. I swear I'll press it. He's been saying that for the past hour now. At any rate, I should go back over his testimony. Alright, Trey, I'll figure out what's wrong with your last statements. Fletcher appeared. Accepted, Fletcher had prepared. She also brought the pistol, however, then I took Vilmer into the passageway as a hostage. See, I knew Fletcher needed him alive. His safety was my insurance. That's when I came across the mud patch. Yeah. Yep, there we go. I'm back in the groove again. So after you shot Fletcher, you ran through the sewers? That's right. And you came across the mud patch. That I did. Impossible. Earlier, we'd already proved that the mud wasn't there until after Vilmer was handcuffed. Ha! Spot on. Oh, so the order of his statements was wrong. That's right. He couldn't have come across the mud patch because you're the one that made it, right? Very clever. Yes, I did make it. Fletcher had a bag of mud prepared to cover our tracks through the sewers. I simply poured it on the ground. Why would you do that? You see, I thought it might slow her down a little. I was getting desperate, fearing my life and all that. I wasn't thinking clearly. But that explains everything. There's no more mystery left in this case. Cross, there's still one. And that is, who killed Vilmer? He claims it was Fletcher. Everything else he said so far has been true. So you want to trust a terrorist? This is an extremely rational terrorist. Yeah, I'm glad you can see it my way. Alas, our testing is over. Mr. Cross, you passed. Congratulations. Where's my trophy? Well, now that your assessment is completed. What's he gonna run out of bullets? Not so fast, old man. There's one thing left I have to decide. Whether or not any of you should die. But you plan to kill us yourself? Wrong. You see, I have something far more dangerous than my guns. We didn't just steal nuclear missiles in 2004. We stole other kinds as well. Other kinds, like ballistics? My team has prepared a precision missile that's undetectable and lightning fast. It has the explosive power to destroy everything within a half-mile radius. In fact, we have full intention of destroying this building. Why would you do such a thing? To send a message, of course. With the courthouse gone, a new era of law begins. Regardless, Cross gets to live. The rest of you, well, you're not exactly necessary for our cause. What? You're going to bomb us? To send a message? That's right. We need to show the world we're serious. And thanks to those launch codes, we have an arsenal ready at our disposal. So the precision missile can fire due to the zero data? Then that means everyone should evacuate immediately. Not so fast. If anyone moves, I'll do more than just destroy this building. He's really serious, Conrad. No, he's not. What was that? You can't launch a precision missile, or any missile for that matter. And I can prove it. Well, I'm listening. Where do I begin? I do hope you're not making a joke, Cross. No jokes. Trey really can't launch a missile because he doesn't have the zero data. What? But he just told us he stole the last hard drive from Fletcher's apartment. I think it's true that he did go to Fletcher's apartment, but I can assure you he didn't take the third drive. So you're calling me a liar? I held it in my own hands. What trick are you trying to pull now? What you were holding only looked like the zero data. I'm lost. I see. So you switched them. So switched? Before yesterday came to a close, I visited Fletcher's apartment. And I brought something very important with me. Oh, the last fake hard drive? That's right. I'd asked Nail, to lend it to me. When I arrived at Fletcher's apartment, I switched out the zero data for the fake. Earlier, you claimed you stole the data this morning. Therefore, what you took was actually a fake. Yeah, so you can't threaten us anymore. It would appear so. Bailiff, arrest this man, quickly! Not so fast. If you try anything, I'll pull the trigger. So? Conrad just said you don't have the ability to launch anything. Let me ask you something. How much do you trust your acquaintance? What do you mean? I trust Conrad. But have you considered the possibility he may be lying? Lying? Cross, you're bluffing right now, aren't you? Conrad. Cross here wanted me to give up by making some bold revelation. The fact is, you haven't proven anything. What if I press this trigger, we'll find out you were lying? Well, you have no way of proving that it wasn't a fake. Actually, I can. Do you remember what else I said about the data we recovered? You said you plugged in the codes right away. If I recall correctly, the fake hard drives will not allow the real ones to decrypt. That is to say, you need all 3 real ones to access the data. That's why we couldn't launch sooner. However, the data decrypted just fine. We even entered the codes. Everything checked out. If it really was a fake, we shouldn't have been able to do that. Unless he's lying! Conrad, is he telling the truth? I'm not lying. I did switch out the drive for a fake. I have no clue why it decrypted. There, you see? I'm still a threat, so stay back. Hold on a second. What if you already knew? What if you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew that you knew that I knew that you knew? That's it. You're the one bluffing here. You weren't able to decrypt the data, so you lied. You just told us that you input the codes, but you have no way to verify it. No, that's wrong. Just a minute. Your whole plan is a fraud. Nail. Conrad, I believe I can settle this. In the case that the real hard drives are combined with the fake one, the result will be a corrupt file. In other words, it can decrypt. But the data will be incorrect? So you input the codes, but they weren't correct. How do you know that for sure? Are you willing to bet your life on this? Yes. Fuck it, we ball. Yes. You know, just shoot that guy. Ha! That's the Conrad we know, isn't it? Very well, your wish will be granted. Precision missile launching. Wait! Everyone, evacuate! Yeah, you can try. The missile has a half-mile impact radius. Estimate time of impact, less than a minute. Cross, we all need to leave, now! Nobody move. This is what he wants. It's an empty threat. If we leave now, he'll make his escape. Are you prepared to die for that mistake? Just to put me behind bars? You've been a menace to this society for too long. You will be found guilty. Conrad. Timed impact, just 30 seconds. Tell us the truth, Trey. What really happened at that airport? That's it, huh? You want to die knowing you did the right thing? Ha! You won't get that luxury. Conrad! He refused, which means... I don't want to die, Conrad! Less than 10 seconds. Ah! If I'm wrong, hundreds of innocents will die. But he's not, because he's Conrad Cross, motherfucker. Nothing happened. We're well over the impact time by now. Ah! Guards, arrest the criminal, now! Ah, don't, you'll, what? You've run out of threats, Trey. An explosion, and then it blows up. Now's the time to face judgment. Now's the time. I'll kill you all, I swear, I'll do it! You'll all die today, and... Please put the terrorists in restraints immediately. What? What? Wait, what? What was that? It's like the Mario death. What? Conrad, you were right. Trey never had the last hard drive with the zero data. I knew from the beginning. Because you stole it. That's right. Actually, it's right here. What? Ah, that's the hard drive. I kept it with me for safekeeping. I won't ever let it out of my sight. I see. You really should have said something sooner, dunce. We needed to hear the truth from Trey. He was at his most vulnerable when he believed he had the advantage. That was quite the stunt you pulled. I'll say, he double-done risked all our lives. You were never in any danger. Regardless, I believe it's time to conclude this trial. Your Honor, the defense has made its argument clear. Indeed. It's time for the verdict. Your Honor. What do you make of this turn of events? I believe there isn't enough evidence to support the defense's claim. But what? But we... You did an astounding job recreating the scene up until Fletcher's escape. But as far as I can tell, you haven't proved Fletcher was innocent of murder. Indeed. Let's recap from the beginning, shall we? After freeing Vilmer and Trey from their cell, Fletcher moved them to the bridge. She had a gun with her and had an escape route through the sewers. But Trey stole the gun and shot Fletcher in the arm. They took Vilmer hostage and brought him through the sewers. At this point, Fletcher acquired a sword and chased after the two. Meanwhile, Vilmer was handcuffed to the pipe, yes? And mud fell on top of him shortly after. But wait, why was there mud again? Trey told us about this earlier. It would have been used to cover their tracks. In a panic, he thought it would slow Fletcher down. Or at least make it difficult to retrieve the handcuffed Vilmer. So she charged at him with the sword, but he fired warning shots at her. Using that as a distraction, he ascended the ladder to the airport lobby. He went to the security room, likely to retrieve weapons. But Fletcher caught up to him, leaving a trail of mud from behind. She locked the door, trapping Trey in the security room. And then she tried to use the bomb to eliminate him. So she dragged the suitcase over to the window. But Trey had another idea. He shot the window as Fletcher approached. The glass pieces from the window ended up on the suitcase and Fletcher ran. However, she only turned the corner because as soon as Trey chased her, she struck at him with the sword. He collapsed and then Fletcher went to work. She brought Trey back to the sewers and discarded his gun. Then she retrieved the bomb from the suitcase and put it near the gate. And then she moved the suitcase to the sewers as well, only to find that Trey had escaped. This is where our stories conflict. Trey claims Fletcher killed Vilmer at this point, but it's also possible for Vilmer to have already been dead. And what weapon would have been used, you halfwit? The sword was left in the lobby. How would Trey have killed Vilmer in the sewers? There's a certain place that Trey was at which can explain this. Where was Trey able to acquire a weapon? I want to say the security room? While Trey was locked in the security room, he stole something. Oh, there were knives in That's right, the knives! I forgot about those. Knives? What kind of security room stores bladed weapons? The same kind that locks doors from the outside, Your Honor. Whatever the reason, the fact is Trey stole a knife and used it to kill Vilmer. If you look at the crime scene, you'll see that one is missing. Then it just as easily could have been Fletcher. She stole a knife that killed Vilmer after Trey escaped. Why are you so insistent that she's guilty? Enough. I'm sorry, Mr. Cross, but your argument isn't convincing. Agreed. Fletcher has already broken the law several times. She's a known criminal, and it's no stretch to say she could commit murder. But Trey was a terrorist. Trey had dignity for a criminal. Fletcher, on the other hand, she clearly has her own interests in mind. But no, Fletcher's a good person. She just tried to make the world better. Breaking someone out of prison does not improve the world. It's time to vote for a verdict. Fuck you, but Judge. Your Honor, just a little more time, please. We must not needlessly extend this trial. As far as I'm aware, there isn't much new information to be found here. Wait, this trial is for the murder of the senator. Whether or not Fletcher broke him out of jail is a different crime. You're right, but it shows her intentions clearly. She needed his connections to Zero Data. That much is clear. So Sagan, it's time to vote on a verdict. Wait, you can't! This is unfair. This is not like the justice system. Clay's innocent until proven guilty. We haven't retrieved enough evidence to prove her guilty. As far as I'm aware, the judge is in control of this courtroom. So you remain silent or I will have you removed from this trial. As that is the case, the counselors and I make the final decision. We're not obligated to uphold any standards in judgment. He's right. Regardless of the situation, they're the ones who give the verdict. Counselor Woodman, what is your vote? It's a tough call, but Fletcher is clearly a lawbreaker. I can easily imagine her committing the crime. But that's not true. She didn't do it. Enough, Counselor. Guilty. No. We can't lose like this. I guess this is goodbye, Conrad. Sarah will go to prison for a long time, or worse. I can't let this happen. I don't care what path this leads me. There's only one way to go. No more choices. I have to do this. No, it's more like I never had a choice in the first place, and now I'm finally able to choose for myself. Now, Miss Crawford? Your Honor, with respect, your call for a verdict is unlawful. While you are in charge of the courtroom, there are guidelines to a fair trial. You are blatantly disregarding those guidelines. Watch yourself, Cross. If you continue like this, I'll call for a counsel to evaluate your performance. Take the judge hostage? You wouldn't. My judgments are fair. There's no reason to give this criminal another chance. This isn't like him. What's going on? Your Honor, I believe you are blinded by your predispositions. Fletcher is not a criminal or a terrorist. Sure, she's broken the law in the past, but she never wanted to. She would never kill someone as part of some devious plan. How do you explain the death of Ground? If I recall correctly, she pushed him off the roof of the bank. The case will have to be reopened. She didn't push him, he jumped. He brings his hammer and touches the desk. Order. So this is your stance? I won't let you lock her away without a fair trial. Conrad, you idiot. I can't believe you... The logic was set. Now all that's left is... You'll cease speaking or I'll revoke your attorney's badge. What? I've called for a verdict. That decision will not change. Do you even have the ability to revoke my badge? Yes. As acting judge of this trial, I can suspend your legal practice. Upon suspension, your badge will go into review. At which point you will mostly lose the ability to defend or prosecute for that matter. No. Which gives you no authority to evaluate my performance as a judge. But that's not fair. Now, do you concede? The judge is completely turned against me. That doesn't matter. I have to object. I choose... No, that's enough. I confess, I'm guilty. What? Bitch! I knew it. What? But... Your Honor, she's lying to protect me. Don't believe her, she isn't guilty. Conrad, I no longer require your services. I understand. Crap, she dismissed me? You heard her, Cross. Leave this courtroom. I believe we have sufficient information to hand down a verdict. Mr. Cross, you will leave the room. There's nothing I can do now. Conrad, we tried, but... This is it. We're done. This is... it. I'm sorry, Sarah. What? After all that, we failed to prove our client innocent. The verdict? Guilty of all charges. Actually, at that moment, she wasn't our client anymore. But our obligation continues, even after the fact. Sarah isn't just a client, she's a friend. And no matter how many mistakes she makes, I can keep forgiving her. Because she really is trying to help, and because she'd do the same for me.